these people that are spewing hate, I really don't have any patience for them.
Right now we have an overall issue of people not subscribing to Western values.
We have Trotskyites crossing our boundaries here illegally, feeling deserving, being fed with rhetoric and propaganda against Jewish people.
David Menzies for Rebel News here at Yonge Dundas Square in downtown Toronto. And folks, how about we all get together to, make deportation great again? More on that in a second. Let me just ask you for a favor, if you can. We have our billboard Jumbotron truck here, and we'll be bringing it to Ottawa and Montreal with our message. And that's going to cost some money, around $4,000. If you can, please help us cover our expenses by going to deporthamas.com. That's deporthamas.com. Sign the petition, and if you're able to, kindly make a donation. Well, folks, what can I tell you? You have seen post October 7th just gruesome spectacles happening in the streets of Toronto and Canada and all around the world. We have seen the pro-Hamas demonstrators chanting for death to Jews, to the annihilation of the state of Israel. We have seen Jewish businesses vandalized and even firebombed, if you can imagine. And the thing is, it's not just Canadian citizens out on the street exercising the right to protest. A lot of these are foreign nationals. A lot of these people are international students. Isn't this absolutely galling? Isn't this a heap and helping of chutzpah? We welcome these people into our country, and what do? Oh, they don't assimilate to Western values. They do the exact opposite. They preach death and destruction and genocide. Unbelievable. And folks, let us never forget what started the current war in the Middle East. It was that grotesque terrorist attack in Israel on October 7th. Some 1,200 people brutally murdered, more than 4,000 injured, more than 200 held hostage. A lot of those people are still being held hostage somewhere in Gaza. And yet we have people not calling out a terrorist organization, but the state of Israel, and for that matter, the Jewish people. It is absolutely unacceptable, especially if you're not a citizen. We say, pack your bags and go home. And so it is that we are here. We are promoting our Deport Hamas website. Please go to it if you can. Please make a donation to cover our expenses as well. And let's see what the people of Toronto feel about a regular occurrence in our country right now of people taking to the streets and conveying their best wishes for genocide, death, assault, vandalism, you name it. Are people really down with that? Or maybe this is not what Canada is all about? Where would you stand on that?
Well, I like, if you're a security risk
Right.
to Canadians and the Canadian economy, well, then, that's a question that's redundant in itself.
Should that person be deported?
Well, I'm a Canadian citizen,
Okay.
and I spent one night at Mayor Chow's shelter over here on Cecil Street, and illegal people who have crossed our boundary illegally are running the shelter, and they're bossing me around.
Canada is known for its calm nature and tolerance, and these people that are spewing hate, I really don't have any patience for them.
The most important thing to me is Canada,
Yeah.
because I live here. I just gave you a list of issues, that everybody, and I know there's going to be an election coming up 100%, so make sure you guys vote. But other than that, everybody's divided. Some people are pro-Israel, some people are pro-Palestine, some people are I don't give a f***, right?
I would have to think about it a little bit, but I do think it is wrong to say that. I think it's wrong to say death to everybody.
Well, I've been through 15 years of living with those people in shelters and in rooming houses and getting bullied and harassed with all of the rhetoric and politics.
Right now we have an overall issue of people not subscribing to Western values. Right now.
And how do you feel about that?
It's like that everywhere. When you look at the data, it's not just here A lot of other places are like that.
You want Western civilization obliterated because it's happening everywhere. It's beyond Israel and Palestinians. It's a jihadist movement.
I've lived with newly landed Canadians. They're not citizens yet. They get processed. They get housed within months. They get an affordable apartment. And I've become unemployable.
And it doesn't matter where you come from, because if you're gonna come and live here, one thing that's a big Canadian value is the Charter. Enshrined in the Charter is the criminal code. So one big belief Canadians have is law and constitution.
We have Trotskyites crossing our boundaries here illegally, feeling deserving, being fed with rhetoric and propaganda against Jewish people, against European people, against Christians, that we're the enemy, we're the reason for their suffering.
My number one message to people is be so grateful that you are on this Canadian soil right here, because you are afforded rights and freedoms that other people don't have.
Folks, let's make deportation great again. The problem is we have so many foreign nationals, we have so many international students that are taking to the streets of Canada and chanting for death, destruction, and even genocide. That's offside. They gotta go. Please go to deporthamas.com. That's deporthamas.com. Sign our petition, and if you're able to, make a donation.